All right, Glenn, welcome back to the shed.
Yeah, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, it's got a local group in today, or a representative from a local group to have a chat to. It was actually suggested to us by one of our followers.
Yeah.
So how about I go grab him?
Yeah, cool.
We'll have a chat and learn about this local Springfield group.
Awesome.
All right, let's do it.
Come on in. Take a seat at the bar.
Wow.
Welcome to the tent
This is
shed.
awesome.
Yeah, got you over here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
This is Glenn.
Hey.
Nice to meet you, Glenn. Mark.
Nice to meet you,
Jason.
Mark.
Jason, Mark. Nice to meet you.
Oh, you watch your head on there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to be any taller.
No, I think maybe we set that off ourselves, right?
Probably.
This
that's
is
what
fantastic, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
cool. Yeah, it's just a little local in our backyard.
Yeah. Wow. Mate, what are you pouring?
What was right?
Let's get cracking.
Let's get cracking, he says. No worries.
Well, I bought some stubby coolers from the Mo-Men.
Oh, thank
thanks,
you.
So
mate.
it's for you
Cheers.
guys. So
Thank you.
it's awesome.
Springfield Mo-Men.
That's us.
Wow. So we just did a piece to camera intro.
Cool. Yeah.
Ago. So we're totally naive. We've heard of Springfield Mo-Men.
Yep.
That's why we thought one of our followers said, hey, listen, you've got to talk to these guys and find out what they're about.
Cool.
And everything we're doing in the shed is not necessarily hyper-local, but it's great to talk to locals and then some people around the area.
Thank you.
Jason,
So, mate, I'll just go the usual, thanks.
The usual.
The Pepsi Max.
Oh, look at the hot stuff.
I'm on a dry at the moment. I've been
Oh.
70 days without alcohol.
Woo.
Yeah.
Well done.
Look how
Well
we
done.
put it in.
Oh, yeah, nice. There you go.
There you go. It's one for you.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
All good. All good.
Excellent.
So how did you guys get involved? What are you guys,
Yeah.
how long have you been around? What have you
Yeah,
been
yeah.
doing? Like, I only just really heard of you in the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long you've just been going. And
Yeah, well, we've been 9 years this
Oh,
year.
wow.
9 years this year, 10th year anniversary next year.
Wow.
But myself and Paul Kerwin, really good mate of mine, back in 9 years ago, we at the Orion local hotel,
Yep.
just sitting there having a beer, and we're like, well, maybe we should grow a Mo, you know, like start doing some Movember, and the men just don't talk enough, mate. And that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
the big key, you know.
Yeah.
And this is awesome.
Yep,
You know,
this
we
is
can
exactly
come
what
here
it's
and sit
about.
here and have a chat, and that's
Yeah.
what it's about, you know. And we sort of said, let's just grow a Mo, and we raised a couple of $100, and we thought, oh my goodness, we're legends.
Yep.
It was so good.
Yeah, how good's that?
Yeah, and we thought, well, you know, and we fast forwarded a few years, and we're now 9 years. We've actually grown to 3. We have Matt Eggins as well, a really good part of the Mo-Men.
Yep.
We have these fantastic looking suits, and mate, last year we raised $50,000 for Movember.
Holy crap.
And we finished in the 10th in the country.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
from little old Springfield guys just wanting to make a bit of a difference, it's turned into a massive, you know, thing that really consumes our whole Movember.
Wow, that's
it's,
awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
incredible.
cool.
Wow. Because like I said, I'd heard of the Mo-Men, but it's like one of those things, there's so much noise on social media and other things like that, and we live in our own bubble trying
Yeah,
to
of course,
find
of
our
course.
guests and do our own thing, and then, just 50 grand.
Yeah, it was I mean,
Was that last
that was
year?
last year, and we thought with COVID, you know, we were happy with if we raised 10 grand or 15
Yeah.
grand,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the year before we'd raised 34,000.
Wow.
So we were like, mate, even if we halve that,
Yep.
I'd be chuffed.
Yeah, any money doesn't matter, right?
And you know, it just kept going and going and going. But that's the support that we have from the local community. I mean, Springfield's amazing. The greater Springfield area is, you know, really what drives us to keep continuing what we're doing. And you know, when we heard about, you know, we just started, and then we heard about the gentleman that drove into the lake down at the.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, we've had a couple of people close to us that have either gone through testicular cancer, or, you know, we've had friends that have, you know, unfortunately tried to end their own life, and
Yep.
it just gave us more and more incentive to go, you know what, we want to just get the word out there. The money's great, but if we can save one, that's way more important for us. So
That's what we say as well. If we can just have one guy here and we save him because
Mate,
he's had a chat.
That's
happy
exactly
days,
right,
mate.
and that's exactly what we do it for.
Yeah.
It's like I said, the money's great and the accolades,
Yeah.
but if we can have one more bloke standing here next week,
Yeah.
and they don't go down the track where they can potentially end themselves, mate, we're happy, and I'll go to the grave a happy man, and I know the boys will too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with the collective, mate, we're trying to do our little bit, and you know, we're getting Movember are massive supporters now. They've realised that we're not just fly-by-nighters. We're you know, here one day, raise a couple of $100. It's just kept going from strength to strength. And, you know, we have their major support. We have actually 2 years ago we had the directors fly up from Melbourne to one of our events. They were hoping to do it this year, but COVID's then thrown a big spanner in the works there again.
Yeah.
But you know, the support we get from them is fantastic.
So what's your end event for November? Like, is that November 30? You have a big party, or what do you do?
Well, we have our launch. We had our big launch, which is always at the beginning of the month. We had Lottie Takiri. We had our marquee event out the front of Ballistic Brewery, which, if you want to get back on the wagon, there is a Mo-Men beer.
Yeah, I did see that actually on socials.
We actually had the CEO in here.
Yeah, cool.
David, we had a great chat with him.
Yeah, he was awesome. He drank all my beer.
But he bought some.
He bought a couple and
he
drank half my keg.
No, I
don't think I do. I gave him Jason.
Well, we've got that. We've got that with them, and we had that, and we're the first one to ever have a marquee event in Springfield.
Yeah.
And it was 100 people, all businesses, all coming together. We raised $6,000 or $7,000 on the day.
Wow.
Amazing effort. And then we have the Man Walk, which is on a Thursday morning, Thursday night, and a Saturday morning. All based down, and it started with just a Thursday morning, and then it's grown and grown again.
Yeah, you do that through Rebels.
Yeah. And it's just a walk and talk. It's not a pace walk. It's not a runners group, and nothing against the runners. No. It's just a case of men just catching up, that they may not have been in contact with, or they may not even in their normal day-to-day working life come in anywhere near these guys, but it's a chance for them to talk to someone that they may not know, and that's sometimes easier than someone that is close to you.
That's right.
So we just go around and have a chat and catch up and see what they're doing, how their week is, and some guys come regularly, some guys have to fly in, fly out, so they can come when they can. But we're starting to see that grow. We've then had steak and mates at the coffee club, which was just again fellas like this coming to the coffee club, having a steak and a beer and having a bit of a chat. We then had our resin night, so that was more geared at the lady side of things, but a resin board where they can actually do all the resin in the middle of the board. And
I think
they do. They came.
They came.
We had 45 people to that, which is awesome, and the biggest one that they've ever had. And then we've got the pie eating competition on Thursday night at Orion.
This
Thursday night, mate.
I'm in.
You never know, you might be a super sub, mate, because there's a few people floundering. No, I don't know if I can handle it. So we're blocking that off out the front of Puckles, because Sat and the guys at Puckles, mate, are amazing. Big supporters of ours over the years, and he said, I want to do something totally left field. And we're like, great, man, let's go with that. And he's made, I've seen the monster of the pie that you got to eat. It's huge. It's almost 2 kilos.
The size of a cake.
It's a 2 kilo pie, man. It's it's massive, and we've got 10 local sponsors on to sponsor the guys entering. This is purely just, there's no prize at the end of the day other than to say that you're the inaugural winner of the pie comp, but it's just about creating the awareness. And, we get out in these things, hand out some flyers and things like that, and just promote the awareness of Movember and about men's mental health. Just the stuff that needs to get talked about.
Definitely.
Mate, what really irks me is that we were at 6 a day men committing suicide in this country before COVID. We're now at 9 a day.
That's right.
And I understand COVID's been a massive impact on a lot of men, but we need to keep talking about this. We need to get it out there. We need to shine the light on it. It needs to be spoken about, that they are taking their own life, not that this person just passed away. It needs to be come out to the light, so then when you shed light on things, the stigma goes away.
That's right.
We can actually start talking belly to belly and really get serious about this stuff. And mate, the women do an amazing job with breast cancer and stuff like that, and we're totally all supportive of that. But we need that on the men's side too.
That's right.
Prostate cancer is a massive killer as well. Testicular cancer is not far behind. But when you're talking 9 men a day between the ages of 15 and 44, it's the biggest killer in this country.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to do something.
It's amazing that you mentioned that, because I knew the numbers were high, but I didn't know like that daily.
Well, around the world, one man a minute commits suicide.
Is that right?
So when you say 9 a day, that's Australia-wide?
That's just Australia-wide.
Yeah, right.
And we make up 75%, men make up 75% of the suicides in this country.
I guess that's all the pressure we feel as men, right? And you go to work and you think you're in the daily routine, you feel like you're hitting the third route from the left 50 times a day. And you don't talk about it. You come home, your kids are screaming, you're rah-rah, and they just
and you've got a family to look after and support, and the burden with that we carry, we don't talk about.
That's right.
And then also, just social pressures, having a kids' sport, all those type of things as well, and running around, and then you've got the business that's still got to function while you're not, you still are available. Then you've got staffing pressures, and it's all these pressures that build up to the point where men they're not talking, and it's here. and they feel like they're drowning. Yeah. And then they think the only way, unfortunately, the only way is to take themselves out of the equation to fix it, which is not a good. It's not good at all.
No, so that's exactly right.
And that's really what why we started it. And we're with the three of us boys, and now we've got Rachel, who's jumped on board as an events coordinator. So she's jumped on to help us, and we've got people. We've even had Bright Spark Electrical have jumped on board this year. They're giving us a solar system to raffle off. It's a 6.5 kilowatt solar system, either to upgrade or a brand new install. And they've just said, mate, we're giving it to you. We just want to promote you. So we've got 200 tickets, $20 a ticket. All the money comes straight to Movember. We don't make a cent, mate.
No, that's right. Yep.
And mate, someone that could potentially walk away with a brand new solar system.
It's better than a big tray, isn't it?
Oh, mate, it's so good.
Wow, especially because you've just gone down the solar route, and you've seen the difference that it makes. I mean, that in itself. I mean, you say only 200 tickets.
Well, that takes pressure off someone bill-wise, right?
But how good is that?
You buy 5 and you've got a great chance. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, all those people who buy lotto tickets and everything else, and you're really you're going to get struck by lightning before you win. You've got a 1 in 200 chance. But if you buy a couple of tickets, your odds are even better.
I mean, we've even got a local Mind, Body and Travel, Mark Hodson. He's donated a holiday.
Wow.
We've got 100 tickets at $40, so there's only 1 in 100. And I know a really good friend of mine won it last year. And he went to Port Douglas, mate, on the reef, doing the whole deal.
Wow.
Came back, magic. Him and his now fiance, they all went off and had a great time.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
like, man, jealous as.
Yeah.
I can't win it, unfortunately, which really sucks.
Do you only do stuff in November? Is that your whole aim?
No,
or do you do stuff through the year?
Well, yeah.
Like your walks, are they all through the year?
Walks are all through the year.
Okay.
The steak and mates will become once a month.
Yep.
We did do a casino night in the middle of the year, and that's again, we're breaking barriers, man. Movember's never done anything outside of November. We're the first to do it. Little old Springfield, first to do it.
Yeah.
And we did one, and it was we had 130 people in the casino at the Brookwater Golf Course.
Yep.
At the casino live band, it was amazing. Everything it was
cool.
so cool.
Yep.
So we're looking at those type of events. We're looking at a golf day, like being 10-year anniversary. We want to go big and bold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking at a golf day. We're looking at movie nights, things like that. So again, like you say, it's not just about November Movember. It's all year round. People or men suffer. So we want to make sure that there's something that if that connection can be made in January, July, November, it doesn't matter. They can still make a potential connection to still be here tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah, because we've spoken a number of times where you get situations there's some great events out there like Are You OK Days, but we've said people's situation can change rapidly. Right? So to do those things in one day, okay, but 2 to 3 weeks time, an event or something else. So it is. I think that's a great thing about. I mean, even Movember is an awesome event, but continuing the conversation all year and the awareness all year is vital because you could be talking to someone, circumstances change, 6 months time, and everyone's like,
COVID. Look at that, perfect example.
Yeah.
No one's coming. And your livelihoods and families and homes and
there's the divorce rate went through the roof during COVID.
Correct.
The onset of that is kids live in separate houses and.
Lifeline said that they had in that Easter after COVID hit was their biggest ever month they've ever had in the whole years that they've ever been running.
Yeah,
they
had a record day, I remember, and I'm going, that's not a record to be proud of, right?
No,
the most number of calls in a day.
But at least people are calling. That's the other thing, right? People cannot call.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's the scary thing is people don't, and they carry that burden, and then that burdensomeness can become, isolation can become, loneliness, and then all of a sudden, unfortunately, they're already planning to exit, and that's that's a hard one to get back from.
Yeah, that's right.
So if we can get it early and we can start them talking. That's really what we're all about.
Absolutely.
We're passionate about. That's why we've got these, bright and leery. We wanted to. It's a whole suit, mate. It comes with a tie and the pants. I'm not going to wear the pants today. But,
we'll shoot from the waist up.
But we thought, what? We want to be loud and proud. We are idiots, but we're happy to get out there and really promote the awareness and the amount of people that go, oh hey, it's the Mo Boys, but that's what we want. It's just people to recognise not even who we are, but what it's about. And the more we can do that, and the more we can do with whatever organisation. I mean, we've got Big Papa's Pizzas doing Movember Meat Lovers. Money from that. We've got Mo for Dough, which is through the Domino's. He does $1 from every pizza sold on the Saturday. Gives it straight to Movember.
That's awesome.
A survivor of testicular cancer is the owner. Those guys, we've got Springfield Jewelers jump on, and every year they actually give us a ring on our gala night. and we raffle it off. So winner walks out with a ring.
Yeah.
Last year was a $3,000 ring they walked away with. They came to the event and potentially she
crazy.
walked away with a $3,000 diamond ring.
Wow.
You know, so they're the things. The support we get is amazing, and it's so heartfelt. And I mean, they can see that we're not just we're serious. We
that's
really
right.
want to make a difference. And you know, we're just run of the mill blokes, but we've got some counsellors coming on board that really want to help. And you know, we're not professionals by any stretch, but if we're the avenue in which they can then talk to a professional, then that's, hey, we open the door, that's all we need to do.
Yeah.
So
what do you guys do during the day? Like, what's your day job?
I'm a mortgage broker.
Oh, yeah, right.
Business.
Cool.
We have loan market Greater Springfield, just above the vet at Augustine Heights.
Oh, yeah.
Paulie's a real estate agent.
Yep.
And Matt works in the paper industry, so he does all the receipt rolls and things that you get in when you go into like McDonald's and Woolies and Coles and those ones. So he works with that. So we have our own jobs.
Yes.
I'm just a lucky sod that got to get out of my work to come here and see you guys. They're still working. So, but no, that's, you know, again, when we come to Movember, we drop the logos, we drop the brand. It's all about Movember. As soon as you put the jacket on, you forget what you do for a living. It's all about Movember. So that's really what we're striving.
We should take a photo of you with a beer here and send it to the boys now. Go, suckers.
This
is what you gave up.
But it just goes to show normal people can make a difference.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you've got a job and a business and all of that, and you can make a difference.
And that's like saying, mate, perfect example is just one person needs to step up.
Yep.
And you know, now when like I said, me and Paulie, we were passionate about it and said, look, this can't go on. Something has to do. We have to do something. Yeah. And mate, we're pretty bad at growing them. Mate. You guys are pretty good at the beard situation. So
we're off on a trip at the end of the month as well.
Next weekend we're away. So we go away every year for a Movember boys trip.
Oh, awesome, man! So good.
We plan a group of guys and we all get together and hire a barge and
get
on the barge and then we all just go and
sign me up. I'm in.
I'm in
for sure.
For
sure. Next year I'll be in.
Shoot away over to an island for 3 days. And
nice.
Same concept, right? Everyone just to sit down, disconnect, and
just chill.
Hang. If you want to go forward drive, you want to sit on the beach, you want to throw a frisbee,
do whatever,
have a beer, whatever. That's what it's about.
That's so good. I mean, I went to the overland track in Tasmania a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
And there was no phone, no internet. Well, you could have, but I went no. I turned everything off. I diverted to the office. I said, I'm off the grid for a week, and it was 6 days trekking. And some people go, trekking is boring. But you had to set up your own tent and do the whole thing. Like, it was fully off-grid. And it was so good to just look around and appreciate what we have in our own backyard. Because it's in Tasmania, so it's not far away. It's cheap as chips to get down there.
Yeah.
And, you know, beautiful streams, you know, bumblebees that are massive. I've never seen bumblebees that big in my whole life.
Really?
It's so cool. I'm just like, tripping out like a little school kid.
Was that your first time in Tassie?
Oh, I've been before, but not like traipsing, like in hiking. With, you know, the first day we're going up chains to get up the cliff face, and it's sleeting and it's raining, and you know, you've got 24 kilo on your back, and it's roughing it, mate. It's like you're carrying everything.
Wow.
So you're carrying all your equipment, you're carrying pretty much a ration of your food to get with the others.
Yeah.
You've got all your own muesli bars, all your own like snacks that you would carry, plus your tent, plus your sleeping bag, and that, and you're off. And it's see you later. We'll see you in 6 days.
Do you do a lot of that, like trekking?
It's my first one.
So, like, just got off the couch and went, I'm going to go to Tasmania?
Well, we were actually, there was a whole group of us at the gym, so we go to ME Gym.
Oh, yeah.
And Darren Kelly, the owner, again, huge supporter of us as well. He said, we were going to do Kokoda a couple of years ago, and then COVID hit, and we were like, no. And we trained really hard, knowing full well what was expected. And, of course, when that didn't happen, we were all lazy.
Flat, right?
Won't train. And then next year was like, that's definitely not happening because the COVID's rampant, unfortunately, there, which is really sad. Yeah. But we sort of, well, maybe we do something in the back door, in our own backyard, and then look at Tasmania, the overland track. It came up on the news, and we're like, man, that looks really cool. And we sort of went, well, it's a bit of a pseudo type of Kokoda. It's not really, it's 6 days, 70-something Ks. We end up doing over 100 Ks because you do some off walks to, you know, waterfalls and things like that. But it's just amazing. Just the country was,
so is it guided?
Yeah, we had a guide. We had 2 guides.
It's not like just follow that track. Mate.
No,
you can't get
it's 7 days. We'll send the helicopter if you're not back in 8.
Yeah. So, but it's, I mean, it's really cool. You get to the thing, and there's, you know, platforms where you then set up and so forth. But you're outdoors. There's no hut. There's no, you know, it's all long drops. There's no flushing toilets. There's no you know, jumping in the creek to have a wash. It's all those type of things. It was really cool. I did it with my wife, so it's our first time that we've had a chance to without children, just to do something together. And mate, she smashed it. She's a Kiwi, mate. It's like dropping someone in their perfect environment, and off you go. And she was like, "See ya." It's like so. Where I was like, I'm here. I'm coming. Yeah, so, but it was awesome. Loved it. Really do it again.
Own backyard.
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't do it straight away, but I'd certainly do it again. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
And I mean, it was down to the first day was down to like 3 degrees.
Wow.
Cold. Get there and it's raining and you've got to set up your tent in the rain and you're like, I don't know if I signed up for this. But you just do it, you get through it, and then the next day was beautiful. And you're like, see, it's not that bad.
That's life.
And
There's bad days and good days, right?
And then when my wife and I, we went to go for a swim in the lake and we thought, oh, well, we'll go off on our own. And we're standing there watching wombat and we thought, oh, geez, it's a big boy. And he kept getting closer and closer and actually walked like literally this close. Like literally could have touched him. And it's just like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. And big, fat, right in his own environment. I wasn't going to touch him because you just don't want to touch it, just in case. But it was just awesome, and those things that will stay with me for my whole life.
That's awesome.
It was, just magic. So thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, all those guys. Most of us all train for it, but still, it's intense. It's not easy. The third day, you're doing like 19 k's in a day, and it's 7-8 hours of walking through mud, water. Tree roots, rocks, slate, you name it. You walk. There's some board walks as well that are the nice bits, the easy bits. But it's certainly not easy, and something that you certainly need to train for.
How many guys did you go with?
We went with 10. So we had 6 men and 4 ladies. And then we had one male and 1 female guide, and they were amazing. They actually cooked for us every night, so that was really cool to just to be able to
just go.
Just like and some nights you're like, oh, I can't move. Can you bring my food? You're like, no, you got to get up. You can't be that lazy. So
table service.
That's what you hope for. But no, it was a really cool walk, and so when you finish in. The perfect day was we were going back. You go across Lake St Clair, and it's one of the deepest lakes in the country. And you go across the boat after you finish, and you look back and you just see what you just did. And it was a magic day, blue sky. You couldn't have written the script any better on a flat lake, and you're just looking at it going, I just did that. And it's amazing scenery, and you just go, oh my goodness.
Awesome.
I've just spent 6 days getting through there. That was cool.
And you didn't hear Dad once.
No. You just don't want to turn the phone on because it's like ding ding ding. Like,
no. Back to reality, right?
No reception at airplane, mate.
Mate, absolutely. You got to check out sometimes, don't you?
And I mean that's cool. What you guys do would be amazing. We're looking even next year doing a cruise. The same thing, just a weekend with the boys. 20, 30 fellas, however many we get, and just go. And one of those ones that just sort of go out and around and come back. Nothing spectacular.
That's all right.
Whether it be a comedy one or not, just for the guys to get together, chill out. Sit around, have a chin wag, whether they have a beer or not or whatever. Just relax and get away and just turn it off.
What I find is there's no alarm. Right? There's no, when you go, you're just sitting there and you're being your swag or something else like that, and you go to bed when you want or you get up when you want. There's no pressure, no pace. It's just a really cathartic kind of experience just to sit around and just go. I don't have to do anything. I want to get in the car and go down the beach or something else like that, and everyone just at their own pace.
All the expectation of life is gone. You know what I mean? That's the bit you're trying to get away from.
And the pressures of, like you say, Dad, or we've got to get up, we've got to go here by a certain time, and then I've got this, and then all of a sudden you're distracted from your own, like what you thought was going to be your time. And it's so easy to get. As soon as you wake up, it's like, oh my goodness. So
your mind's going before you even get out of bed. Right? Your mind is
same.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I've got to do that today, that today, and then at 8 o'clock you go to bed because you're tired. You're like, Jesus.
The first thing you do when you wake up is you grab the phone.
Social media is terrible.
Well, not even that.
Generally, the phone wakes you up sometimes too because the alarm goes off, and then it's like, and you hit. I've got 3 messages. Oh, hold on, what are those? And you're like, done, I'm already in the day. And you're like, whereas you could be just put it down for 5 minutes and just rest and be at peace with yourself.
Sorry, mate.
My PT has got me doing. I don't do it every morning, but it's just a 10-minute listen meditation.
Nice.
So good. So don't do anything. Just wake up and just hit play. And just listen. You just do some breathing. You think about the day, how grateful you are for who you are, where you're at.
That's cool.
And then you get into your day.
I think that's what we all need. That's so cool because, I live in Camira and we're on acreage, so you hear the birds and that, and just to sit there and do nothing and play and listen. But that's so rewarding just in itself.
Absolutely.
And just to hear the bird life and see the trees sway and those little things that we don't see.
You miss, mate.
We don't see because we're busy.
That's exactly
right. We're distracted.
Yep.
And those are the moments. It's awesome, man. If men only took that little 10 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes.
That's right. Exactly.
That little bit of time for themselves to appreciate, like you said, that my eyes opened and I'm breathing to start with, and then the rest comes.
And you're grateful for your kids, and you're grateful for that. You know, you got a roof over your head. Thank God for that. Just the little things.
Food in the fridge. Turn the light on, and the electricity. Turn the tap on. The tap works.
That's right.
You know, it's
not everyone has that.
No, and
you know,
we take it for granted, and we get caught up in life.
Yeah,
with life.
We've spoken about that before with humans. They're always chasing. Like you get a bike when you're a kid, then you want a car, then you get a car, then you want a four drive, then you want a Ferrari, then you want a boat, then you. And we're always chasing.
Yeah.
It's like
people's measure of success is like how many. Yeah, have I got the best car? Have I got the big boat? Have I got this? And it's just continual competition.
Yeah, and you're right, and it's so prevalent that we forget to be grateful for what we already have in our hand.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get caught up in that TV's nice. Oh, I want a bigger TV, and it starts with those little things, and then all of a sudden you get consumed by this whole. The world wants you to consume because that's what it's all about, getting one up on your mate, and it's like, well, it's not about that. You should be just thankful and grateful for what you have, and that you can, like I said, turn the light switch on, turn the tap on, and the water comes.
Hot water.
Yeah, man.
Most people don't have hot water.
No, man. I went 6 days without it, man. Sometimes you're you're thankful for a flushing toilet, like some of those.
Water.
That's right.
Would have been cold though too. Like it was 3 degrees. The water
it wasn't too bad. The first day was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Do you want to top up?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, why not?
They are heavy, so if you're driving, just keep it in mind, right?
But it was more. It wasn't so bad. Like most of that first day, I was laid up.
Yeah.
But everyone put like lots of layers on, and I just had t-shirt, like a light shirt, and then my jacket on.
Yeah. It's
and
like
then
the three-layer principle, isn't there?
Like people going 4 and 5, and I'm going. I tell you, by the time we get to our first stop, you guys are going to be gassed, and you're going to struggle. And sure enough, we got to our first stop, and they're already. We've got to get this off, and I'm like, I tried to tell you, but that's okay. And so there were some days I had just a t-shirt on.
Yep.
And then there was other days I had the t-shirt and the long one, even when it was really hot, because it stings the heat there. I'm sure the ozone's had something to do with Tasmania.
Yeah.
It was really a stinging heat.
Yeah,
so
right.
I put the longs on and put them right down, and it was a really one of like those fishing shirts, a really light one. So I just had it, so it was really light. But just a pair of trousers, nothing, and they were the ones that you can have the zip to take and make them shorts if I really wanted to. Yeah. So I was all good, and boots that were worn in, so I was making sure I wasn't going to be getting blisters. I was comfy I was all good.
Yeah.
But like I said, some guys went a bit overkill, and then they had to carry all that as well. And you're like, you haven't prepped very well.
Yeah.
But and even they bought big bags, but they were all told, no, you don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need that. And I think I went with the bare minimum, and I probably stunk to high heaven, but
who cares?
I wasn't worried about me, man. I smell me. As you guys got to worry about it. So,
that's right.
So did you get wet much? Like you say, you're sitting up in the rain.
The first day was more. It was like 3 degrees. It was sleeting, and like your nose starts dripping because you're getting hot. And then when we finally got to camp, it wasn't so bad. It was just everything was damp, and that's stuff that's tough to deal with because you're setting up everything and everything is just damp at the touch, so that's really hard. And especially after such a long day, and again, as much as you prepare, you still don't anticipate some of the things that you do encounter. But then the 4th day when we got to camp, we were 10 minutes late. Well, I say that because we were about 10 minutes out and it started bucketing down. 10 minutes ahead, and we would have been setting up and no problems. And setting up a tent in the it's torrential. And then you're like, and then you're in the tent going, okay, and they're not the longest tent, and I'm not a short fella like he's mentioned here. Head's touching one end, feet are touching the other, and as soon as you touch it, you potentially got water coming in, and it's really like, this isn't fantastic. But you just go, you know what, I'm here. Let's just enjoy it while it's here, and you have my wife and I laid down, and we just had a bit of a nana nap, I suppose. And then I felt amazing afterwards. But the next day, the water that was on the tarp that they had frozen. That's how cold it got that night. So it had literally frozen, and you had almost on the wooden planks there were like just a bit of almost black ice because it was just slippery as. So I stacked it, I went over, and luckily fell on the softest part of me. But it was like, it was just like, and you could scratch the actual the water off the tarp. It was just frozen solid.
Incredible.
So it got really cold a couple of nights, but mate, they give you sleeping bags and liners that are accustomed to those conditions. So you put your thermals on, and you jump in, and one of those Kenny things, you know, like that's all I need. I can breathe.
I can
breathe, and I'm good.
And a feed hole.
And a feed hole. That's all you need. And mate, you were toasty. Like, it was really so. Didn't feel the cold at all. And then the days where it was really warm just made it such a treat. And all those things that you go, you went through some battles, but the goodness of it outweighed some of the things, the trials that you went through.
How incredible that is, something as simple as 5 days away on a trek, and like, you know.
Yeah, it was. Well, I could talk for hours about it. So I'm still that's good. It's 2 weeks ago, and I'm still so excited about it.
That's awesome.
And you know, and the wife loved it too, which is awesome because that's, like I said, that was her environment. We want to do the Milford track and the Milford Sound.
The Milford Sound,
so we want to do that, and
that's cold.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. But we're sort of like
that's southern end of New Zealand.
Right. Yeah,
it's in the colder part of New Zealand.
Well, I've got a story there. My wife and I did a tour around the South Island many years ago before we had kids. And we had we thought we'll get a 6-berth motorhome. We can have the tables and the kitchen set up and sleep up the top. That way, we're not moving stuff around. And we're self-sufficient like a turtle. Anyway, I think we'd stayed a couple of days in Queenstown. I thought, let's cruise on down to Milford Sound. But we've gone in the afternoon, and I think we're in winter, so short days, sun's down, right? We're just following this road in and through these tunnels, and we cruised in, and we got into the township with the caravan park, and plugged in, and we've checked in, etc. like that. And then they're like, oh, the generator turns off at 11 o'clock. And you're like, oh dear. We're expecting everywhere we've been, we just plug in and run the heater in the van, and you basically walk around in shorts and a t-shirt in your little mobile home. But no power. So next thing the generator goes off, it's dead quiet, you're in the middle of nowhere, and then it's just cold.
It's really cold.
Cold. Yeah. But then what was surprising, so then that next day we got up.
Start the car, mate.
just run the engine all night.
Come out, well, just plug it back in.
We might have fuel in the morning.
We jumped on a cruise which goes out through Milford Sound. It's got all these cliff edges and stuff on the way the sound is, and there's dolphins. Incredibly
one of the most scenic places you'll go in the world.
Yeah,
I've been on cruises where the captains come down and said, mate, I've done all the Europe and Asia and even South Pacific, and my favourite spot, and he's shown photos of the Milford Sound. And just
really?
And this guy's been 30 years as a captain.
But dolphins cruising alongside of your boat, coming past waterfalls, and you're looking at seals on the rocks and stuff like that. It was an incredible experience. But the funny thing is, at the end of that, because there's nothing else in Milford Sound once you've done that, we drove out and then realised that road is almost just a single lane, and it's like you see in a movie where it's a sheer cliff face, a road, and then a sheer cliff face with an 80 to 120 metre drop to the canyon below. So you're driving in at night and you sort of just think, it's just one of these, the road's just slipped off a little bit. No, it's like if you've gotten off... And then to add to the element of excitement is when you're heading out in the morning, all the coaches are heading in.
Oh, lovely.
So you're on a narrow, twisty road trying to drive out, and there's a coach, and you're in a motorhome. And you just, he wins because he's bigger.
And that's a sheer drop, so I'm not going over there.
Yeah, and then so you try and reverse a motorhome down a windy, twisty road because you can't just get out of the way.
There's nowhere to go.
Oh, wow.
You've got to go back to a point where you can have one of those little turnouts to let
get in,
the bus through. And there's even one of the tunnels through... Have you been there?
No, I haven't. I've seen heaps
one of the tunnels that goes through a mountain, the road in, is literally like they've just cut out. So you're just driving down, and there's a mountain next thing that's just they cut a hole. You go through that, and you're out the other side of the mountain. It's incredible.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? A walk there?
Yeah. So there's a track that you can do through there as well. So hiking track, obviously guided and all that type of stuff. There's huts and things like. It's a little bit more glamorous than what we just went through. But
you can't see what you're going to do. At least if you go, you don't know what you're doing.
You don't know. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
But New Zealand's like that.
Southern New Zealand.
All of New Zealand's like that, though. It's like with the roads and stuff like that. It's just an amazing country.
Yeah. I have seen
we've done heaps of it. I mean, Kaikoura, which is on the top of the South Island. My wife and I, when the kids were little, we went swimming with the dolphins in there. And it's funny. You go to the tourist things and everyone's putting wetsuits on, and I'm a my wife and I qualified divers. You don't put a wetsuit on because the wetsuit keeps you on the top of the surface.
Yeah.
You want to get below and have a look. So, and it's cold.
Yeah.
Right? It's not nice and warm like here. And of course they're like, "Are you not getting on?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Off you go." I'm like, "Sweet." So I'm jumping in. All these people are still getting ready. I've been in the water for 10 minutes.
Wow.
With the dolphins on my own. I'm like, "This is so good.
This is awesome.
You're missing out." And then it was funny. My wife said, "I'm going to take our daughter out," and I said, "All right, well, I'll look after our little one." She was only really baby at the time, and my oldest, and she took her out. But all the tourists had gone off chasing the dolphins, and my wife went in with my daughter, and the dolphins came back and jumped over her and under her at the same time, so she didn't have to go anywhere. And I was like, "How?" And one of those visions that you see and just go, and all they were like, "Oh, we swam all this way," and you guys, and so she just paddled out like not even 10 meters.
Wow.
It was so cool. And
That's awesome.
There's some incredible places in Tassie too that I've heard of and seen that you can swim. So they take like tours out and you swim in the water on the southern end of Tassie, and there's dolphins and seals.
It's like Northern Lights in Tassie too, isn't it?
Southern Lights, yeah.
Southern Lights, yeah.
So,
Well,
we were actually spending the last night we were there. We had to get up at 4 a.m. to go to meet the boat, because you have a boat time, and if you miss your boat time, you ain't getting back. So it's the next day. So we had to go in order to get up at 4, we had to go to bed early. Well, that night, which was every night, my wife had stayed up looking for the Southern Lights, and I said, "Well, if you see them, wake me."
Yeah, of course. I'll be asleep.
And of course, that night was one of the best nights I'd had ever, ever on record.
Wow. And you slept through it?
Everyone was all in bed.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like, oh my goodness, the only time that we weren't able to get up, because we knew we had to get up early, get ready, because the walk was a 4 to 5 hour, depending on your length of time, and we also had someone that fell over, so we had to manage that, and we thought that we might be having to tourniquet a stretcher out because it was quite massive.
Holy crap!
But that takes half an hour. So from that side of things, it was all like, okay, and we made it with plenty of time, but you've got to prep to get up that early for that.
That's right.
And but consequently, we missed the Southern Lights.
Southern Lights.
So it's like,
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's always next time, right?
Yeah. Next time we go, they're always there, so hopefully they'll continue. So
Have you seen them?
No. But I have heard like the northern ones, when you see them photographed, it's my understanding that a lot of them are photographed because like when people shoot the stars, it's long exposures to get those colours. That they're not like what you see.
Oh, okay.
A lot of it is
just little
camera
flashes
exposed, and then they're capturing and exposing to capture that. So but it would be interesting to see.
Oh man, it'd still be great.
It's natural for
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, that's good.
But tell me about the shed. What's the story? Ted Shed was this year. What's going on?
Well, it's actually funny. Glenn posted. I put on Facebook today a video of your son.
Oh, yeah, Noxie, yeah.
So Glenn used to race cars.
Okay, cool.
The trophies and the sprint.
Yeah, so I've seen the wall. Yeah, seen the trophies up on the wall.
Yeah, this shed, like that wall wasn't there, and this was all full of race cars and tools and parts and stuff like that. And when Glenn gave up racing, he had the idea to turn it into a sanctuary.
So it's more just to chill out from my mates.
Yeah,
that's why we built it.
And
just somewhere where people can come and have a beer on a Friday harbour. And get away from the bullshit of normal bars.
Yeah, we built it by the
Fortunately,
sea.
you go for Collingwood by the look of it.
Yes.
Sorry.
No more beer for you. Who do you support?
I'm a rugby boy, and I live from way back. So
from code. You're not even close.
That's why I can give you a sticker back, because I don't really know.
But yeah, we've got obviously the panel there. We can change that. So we're by the sea today.
Yeah, nice.
We can move the shed around to wherever we want.
Yeah,
in winter we run the fire in there. There's a short pit in there.
Yeah.
What we're about is basically just having conversations, right?
Cool.
So we talk to people in the community, but we've got through our website and that we're raising money for people in need in our community.
Yeah. Awesome.
So to help the homeless, through Goodner, etc. like that.
Yep,
through
Goodner Street Life, they're awesome.
So we just make content, and then we have people on like yourselves.
We were so happy just on that. When we had our casino night, we got donated a swag and a esky by one of the local bath manufacturers here that do AquaShield bathrooms.
Yep.
They kindly donated it, and we had a raffle, and Steve from Goodness Street Life won it. It was so cool. It was one of those moments. It was like, and it came with a meat tray and everything. It was like, man, it's so cool that I know that someone, that might be struggling to find somewhere or might be homeless is going to get something that's going to really last them a whole lifetime. Because it was a full proper canvas swag, like it
Yep.
wasn't just your run-of-the-mill cheapie.
Yep.
And it was so cool when he won that, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly where that's going, and you're going to make such a difference with that.
That's
so
so
cool.
yeah. So and fundamentally, so the Ted Shed's named after Glenn's dad,
Yep,
who passed
yep.
away.
I grew up in Goodna.
Oh, yep.
So I'm a Goodna boy, and my
Yep.
dad was in that community for a long time.
Nice.
So yeah, and then when we were naming the shed, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
shed,
cool.
You know, like, so yeah, we lost Dad 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago, to
Yep.
cancer.
Yep.
So yeah, but just trying to, you know,
Yeah,
he was
awesome.
a really, really cool guy, and,
Yeah.
and would give you the shirt off his back basically, and he didn't have a lot himself, so
Yep.
it's just nice to carry that on.
Yeah,
And
for
that's
sure.
why we
And
call
mate,
it
doing
the
an
Ted
amazing
Shed.
job. This is awesome.
Yeah, we open it up, so it's not unusual on a weekend, like you're saying. It's someone who's going through a tough time.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
come around here
Yeah.
and garage doors up.
Yeah, I'd say Ted Shed's open 3 o'clock Sunday.
Okay, cool.
And
We're
that's-
jumping on. I might
Yeah,
come
yeah,
down if
please
he's
jump
on.
on, mate, yeah.
They just come around and have a beer, have a drink, have a chat. You know,
Yeah.
some people drop in for an hour. Some people.
Well, I was going to bring you a case of the new beer, but
Oh, that's
I
all
went
right.
there and they were closed. I was like,
No.
the only time I want to get a case, I'll bring in our own lager. And
That's cool, you got your own lager.
Yeah. Well, they approached us and said, look, we want to do something, and we're like, sweet, mate, happy
Yeah.
to jump on. And they've been amazing.
Yeah.
Again, and the cool thing was when we did that event, that launch, we had XL Party Hire, which is out of Ipswich. Again, we were trying to keep everything local. We want to support the locals like you guys do. You know, same
Agreed.
thing. And it was funny. They came to us with a price and said, "This is how much it is." And I was like, "Okay." And anyway, it was. We wouldn't have made anything on the event. Pretty much, it was quite expensive. And it was only for 100 people, so we're like, "Yep, all right." So Paulie and I had a chat, and I said to Paul, how about we go back and say, look, we'll give you a table at the event, you can come along and you can talk about slashing the price a bit, you know, get us a bit of reasonable.
Yep.
So they came back 2 days later and said, yeah, and it was not even half of what they initially charged us.
Nice.
And they came and they had an event, and they actually came, Dave and his wife came to the event, and they were like, mate, we can't believe what you do. We want to double this. We want to put lights here and this and that. And it was so cool to see all of a sudden when they saw what we were about.
Yep.
Just the breakdown of the barriers going. And he actually said this: we normally price ourselves out of this market because we don't do anything this small.
Right.
He said that's why you got such a big price.
Yeah, right.
He said, but when you came back, he said you're the first person ever to come back and say, can you do a contra deal where we can, you know, we'll give you this and you give us that and blah blah. And he said, but now I see what you're doing. He said, no, we want double this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this here. And and then he's talking about doing it with Ballistic, doing a big Oktoberfest.
Yeah, nice.
Next year, so 4 times the size.
Yep.
Big thing, and all the money comes to Movember.
How good is that?
Which would be great if they could get it all up and running. And you know, and again, it's not about us; it's about just the awareness and the awareness of that. You know, that men's mental battles. Yeah. If we can continue that, no matter what happens, then you know, and that's our legacy, man. I'm really happy. I mean, you talk about Goodna. I helped set up Goodna Rugby Union many years ago.
Oh, yeah, right, there you go.
Down there, and then I was playing and. You know, I'm getting a bit older, and the boys a bit younger, a bit faster, and a bit older, a bit slower, and then I ended up saying, "Look, I'm done." And Springfield Rugby, I helped set the seniors up here. So they had a junior program doing really well. Don't know how to do seniors, so I said, "Look, I'll put you in." And I said, "Look, I'm not on any board. I've done that before. I did it for 12 years. I'm done." But I'll show you what you can do. And in 2 years, they won the premiership as well.
Yeah, wow, awesome.
So we had the premiership winning down there, and then now so it's a really cool rivalry having Springfield versus Goodna. And you know, I know that I had played a little part in that, which is really cool.
That's right, exactly. And it's mateship. I've just gone back to doing pre-season this year with my old footy club that I haven't played with for 12 years. Because it's just the mateship thing. I want to go and run around and have a kick with my mates.
Yeah.
You know,
that's so
just
cool.
Be out and have fun.
I love AFL.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually in the basketball now because my boys play basketball at the Brumbies at Springfield.
Oh, yeah. You were in that for a while.
Yeah, my son played there and went through and played rep for many years. Yeah. But he sort of lost out in the hype game, so he's now switched to AFL and he's doing really good there. But that's
coaching them, and we support them from a business perspective, you know, sponsorship. But
nice.
I coach my younger boy and my older boy in their team.
Nice.
So, and again, it's just about them having fun and getting out with their mates. And they love to win, but it's like, hey, did you have fun? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Other times I've pulling my hair out. It's like, oh my goodness, you know, when things get so close and you know what they're capable of, and you're like, oh my goodness. So. But they're a great club, you know. Again, just helping. You know, they've got 260 players.
Wow.
Yeah,
women, and right up into the men's comp as well, and they're growing at a rapid rate, and they're just the facility that we have at the moment is just not big enough. It just can't cope.
Where are you at?
Woodcrest, and it's just struggling.
Yeah, I thought there was talk when the new courts and hall were built at Central there. An option for that.
That's a whole other conversation for another time. It's a lot of political components moving there, and the good thing is I've got to know a lot of people through business, and I'm on the board for the Christmas carols, and you get to know a lot of people, and so I've been able to manage to sort of try and get it happening and get the right people moving. And if it's not there is already talk of potentially getting their own facility, which will be built by developers, because the developers are building the thing, and they're like, oh, we're going to put netball courts, and I'm like, what are you putting
that was the strange thing with the news ground, because there's obviously Goodna's got netball courts in Ipswich, has got a big one.
Well, they've got the new ones at the Springfield as well.
But they've even got the netball courts in Camira that have basically been neglected down the back, right? They're abandoned. And then so when they said they were putting in these new ovals at Springfield, and you look at it and you go, tennis is fantastic, that's a great tennis facility.
And AFL soccer.
Multi-use, but then a massive netball space, and we're going...
And cricket nets, which we need them.
Where's the basketball in that facility? Because
where's the basketball? Where's the cricket? Cricket's growing out here. Where's the basketball and cricket? And even was it running? There's no running track.
Yeah. And I don't promote netball. I think netball's awesome, but a basketball court fits inside a netball court. Correct. And a lot of places would be multi-purpose where you can swing the backboards around. But I see, I don't know why, but when you look on a weekend, you don't see kids at netball courts unless they're playing a comp, right? You don't see them just girls down there playing. No. But you go to behind Springfield Central there on those courts, and they're packed with just guys and everyone playing, guys and girls playing basketball. And that's what I thought, why does that facility not have any...
They do have it, that one between Springfield Central and the football fields, but it's being run by the YMCA. And they have full control. Oh. So it's like, look, we need to change that. And but with this new one, which they're looking at, there's one at Springfield Rise that they're building the development. And they said, initially we said we want 6 basketball courts. Then it went to council, and council said, no, we're doing netball courts. And so I've had to jump on Charisse and Paul, because Paul Tully helped me a lot when I set up the rugby club. Yeah. So I've known Paul for many years. And Paul, man, I need you to do something. This is just wrong. And Charisse is one of the ambassadors, I think is the right word, for the basketball club. I don't know what you call them, but she's an advocate. Let's go with that. And so I rang her and said, look, man, I'm trying to get this sorted, but someone, I don't know who, but someone needs to jump on someone, because that's, we can't have more netball courts. It needs to be basketball. And then if they can then make it indoor, and we can turn it into a full facility that buddies with Ipswich, that then becomes a hub for Springfield basketball, that if they're, they've got their comp and their overflow would come down here, it brings more people into this area.
That's right. Exactly.
And it becomes they have their own little, section that they can sell food and beverages and stuff like that. Make some money. The club grows. They can then have more kids coming in.
That's right. It's better for the community.
And that is the problem. I mean, my son probably stopped basketball 5 years ago now. But the poor old Ipswich basketball stadium's a bit tired as well. The facilities
massively tired.
I've said the same thing. They've got a massive grant, and they probably shouldn't be on camera, but
that's all right.
They had a massive.
No one's watching.
Yeah. they had a massive grant and spent it on the car park. Yeah. And I'm like, mate, have you had a look inside?
Yeah. It hasn't changed from when I was 10.
Mate, and I'm like, and it's still, when it rains, it still leaks. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, but...
And there's nowhere for parents to sit in there. It's literally the court and then the walls.
It's this, and you sit here and there's the court. And you're like, the ball, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Especially those 2 bigger courts, there's no seating.
That's right.
And, and even the way they've structured it, the 2 smaller courts for the kids, they're actually a good... almost 3 metres too short.
Oh,
and that's big. That's a lot in a basketball court. And I know they're juniors, and that's okay. But when you get older and you're running 4 at a time, you need full courts. So it's
Because I always thought I was advocating when Masters moved out. Trying to get up there. That would have been a perfect mixed sport facility. Car park out front, It's got commercial office space and facilities there for sports clubs to operate out of. Out in the garden section there, you could have done like beach volleyball, right, etc.
Anything.
Down in the old timber section with the roller doors could be like a trampoline park and indoor rock climbing. And then the main hardware section, badminton, basketball, like multi-use courts.
I mean, they were even talking about an indoor go-karting thing.
Indoor go-karts.
Yeah, but what happens is there's those sites were everywhere, right? You've obviously, you've got Richlands, you've got here. Richlands has been converted.
Well, they're doing something up there at Springfield.
Yeah, they're all going to be turned into those, what are they, like a home basey kind of thing where you'll have like maybe a anaconda and a
BCF and a
Chemist Warehouse. And
those like a big box kind of things. But even when you go down to, I think is there Dinmore? Is there one at Dinmore there over the train bridge where the Ford is?
Yep.
So it's like up in an industrial estate, but just a government grant. I think they were about 40 million a site or something.
To buy them.
Which was the challenge, right? But if you could get something like that and convert it, that is a perfect. They were everywhere.
Car parks,
everywhere. They were Australian.
Everything's there already.
Facilities
and I mean,
there.
it's not as though.
And then you could do something like that.
I mean, the Springfield City Group could have certainly bought it back, and then and it's one of those things you can do where you can go, you know what, you're going to get a consortium that's going to run it, and there might be 3 different sports.
Yep.
And then over the years they pay the loan back.
That's right.
And I mean, okay, they're not going to make 40 million, straight away, but they will make a fair chunk of that, and now we'll be able to then fund that back. And okay, it's on a plan. You've got these repayments per month or whatever.
Yep.
And it gives them motivation to get more people in and to drive the sport in the area. So the car park's already there.
Yeah, everything's there.
Everything's there. Toilet facilities there, like I said, upstairs office space, high roofs, big open plan.
And I mean, it could have been even to the point where you built a mezz. And then you rented out the office space up top.
That's right.
And then the rest is all sporting facility, whatever.
That's right.
It would have been so easy. There's so much potential there.
And the thing is, when you probably know, basketball, like you go to these places, you go down the Gold Coast and they've got some incredible facilities there. Railway Bay, these sports centres. Carrara's got the indoor sports centre. But even you go to Logan. Logan has an incredible basketball facility there. But you come west, there's nothing here, and that's what we're trying to advocate. That's what we're trying to advocate for is
Stop it.
You can sit there and go, we're going to build a new purpose-built facility, but you could say, like that master site, how long is that set for now? 8 to 10 years?
Easy.
Oh yeah, that's been a long time.
It's been 10 years. It'll be 10 years.
And that's what I'm saying, like there's a way, it's an asset where you don't have to go, let's build a thing, we can just go... which is a shame because no state or obviously not even council's got no money.
But the shell was there. They could have just utilised the shell, and I'm sure I guarantee you, had you said we're going to do this and this is what we're going to do, there would have been community groups that would come in and helped you, and swept and cleaned it and done everything and got it up to standard where you go, okay, you get the floors donated for, let's say for basketball, you get this bit donated for that side, and it would have been a fully functioning community sports centre easily.
But as I said, I was thinking multi-use because down one end you could have done rock climbing up the walls, and then trampoline park in there, and that's that's open to the kids during the day. That's
Well, schools can utilise that as well, then, right?
But then we have things like Central now, where the basketball stadium's built, and all of these facilities are being built for the schools, right?
Yeah.
But there's an asset sitting there.
Yeah.
But it would have been somewhere for kids to go outside of school.
We don't have it anywhere, mate. What have we got? Time zone.
Which is so noisy and so small, it's not funny.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
It could have been easy just to hang out,
Even a pump bike track for the kids, like at Darra. Like that one at Darra sits there. I mean, they've got their own community around there at 4074, but...
Nothing you could have done without, in the car park. You could have just set it up.
That's right.
And just made, it safe and all that, and just set it up once a week or whatever. And
kids can go there after school and be active rather than...
But you look at like your Sky Zone. I think there's a big, obviously when Ninja Warrior came on, there's a lot of those big places out near the airport where people have got these sheds and they're building those climb structures and the walls and the rope courses.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is perfect for doing these things, which would give people in our region.
We drive to Wynnum for one of those with the kids.
Yep. Case in point, right?
That's right, yeah, definitely. I think it's been mismanaged a little bit on Springfield.
Oh, well, but it's something we can learn from, really. That's the only thing we can do,
Yeah, that's right.
You can just go, you know what, next time we've got to be better. You know, and let's look at those beforehand and do something about it. You know.
Yeah.
So
somebody owns it too, right? So there's that's owned, and that's a 10-year asset, which has had nothing in it.
I guarantee you the rates on it would have been pretty exy as well for 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, rates on a house block in bloody Ipswich, mate.
Yeah, imagine on a commercial block of that size.
Yeah.
Would have been,
it's
massive.
huge. It's incredible.
The difference for us.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the
it's just like traffic, isn't it? We're all in it together.
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you, brother.
No worries. We're
with pride.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And,
thanks for having me, man.
Nice,
It's lovely to meet you guys. I'm sorry the other boys couldn't be here, but
that's all right.
But I'm sure they'll be watching in bated breath. And
and maybe after November, there's an opportunity if they want to come.
Yeah,
around.
well, they're keen. They're keen.
Mate, on a Sunday, come around for a bit.
Yeah, well, I'll get them.
Come around
get something ordered
and have a chat. So before we let you go, though,
Yes.
now's your opportunity to do a bit of a plug. So how can people contribute, help out?
Yeah, well, there's a number of ways. Obviously, our social media, we're on Instagram, Facebook, but our platform, www.springfieldmomen.com.au is where you can...
Just Springfield Mo-Men or Springfield
No,
Mo-Men?
just Springfield Mo-Men.
Okay.
So you can donate there. We've got a big team of guys that are all, trying to, especially Paulie, trying to grow a mo. But also, even just if you're looking at something that rather than saying I'm just going to donate and you might not get anything for it, jump on and potentially win the holiday, potentially win a solar system. All that money goes straight to November. We don't keep a cent.
Yeah.
We don't make anything. It's purely just all straight. And you're going into stuff like True North and men's health programs that are really making a significant difference of bringing men together to know that there's more to life than the battle that they might be going through right now.
Yeah.
And those are the things that make the difference.
Absolutely.
And so that powers us, but those are probably the best ways to get, or even if you are a bloke and want to get, want to jump on a team, go to Movember, type in Springfield Mo-Men and jump on and be part of the team.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So they can find you through the official page, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So,
because I was just going to have a question earlier. I know we we're going to wrap up, but is that where you started? Like you actually just created your own campaign through that website?
We just started just two guys, and we thought, it'll just be us guys, and then we went, well, why don't we call it Springfield Mo-Men?
Right.
And we just called it that, and we started going, and then we formed the logo, and again, to get that Mo and everything, it takes a bit of work, because it's the official Movember logo.
Yeah,
we went through their corporate, and they said, yeah, sweet, and the good thing was they sort of said, look, you can do all this, and shirts and caps and things like that, and all those type of things which people can buy on the website too. But the thing is, as long as the money's going straight back, they're like, because we don't pay any endorsements, we don't collect anything, and if we're not making a profit, they're like, sweet,
happy days.
Good luck, so I was just going to say, so other people, like our massive viewing audience that's watching, if they're in another state or in another part of Queensland, so they can go do the same thing, right? Create their own area within the Movember side, and then take on.
Mate, there's some massive guys, like we talked about Tasmania earlier. There's guys called Hobart Mo-Bros.
Right.
And they're doing, and it's almost like they look after the whole of Tasmania. And they're raising, I think one I saw was like $170,000.
Wow!
They're doing some massive stuff, and
That's
it's
awesome.
so good.
Yep.
And there's some, Rio Tinto and stuff like that, and some massive groups that do some, really big things
stuff.
for Movember. And even Cricket Australia now do one of the days of the testers for Movember.
That's right. Yeah,
it's becoming more and more prevalent, which is so fantastic. And it's just that awareness. If we can keep that awareness growing, and that's really what we're trying to achieve by wearing these outlandish jackets and things like that.
I love it.
But we want to create that awareness, and those things. But you could be anywhere and start just on your own.
Yeah.
And then you could just grab a mate and go, mate. Yeah, and $10 can be $10.
That's right. Doesn't matter.
It's $10 less than what they had before.
That's right.
So you get another mate, and all of a sudden you got two, and you raise $20.
Yep.
And then that's how we started. It was like, I think we were $200, and we thought, oh,
how good's this?
And it's like, and then it just grew and grew, and then eventually it was just a case of. There was an opportunity at Orion Hotel. They had Jason Gillespie and Sean Tate coming, and we just said, "How about we partner with you guys and we can work something out?" And we raised $10,000, and we're like, "Okay, we're on something here. This is pretty cool." Yeah. We had 191 people show up to an event, and we're like, "Okay, this is pretty neat." And we're like, "Okay," and then all of a sudden 10 went to 20, went to 30, and 50, and we're like, "Oh wow, okay." And it's just growing and growing, and to the point where. Honestly, I think it's almost like becoming a full-time job for one of us. Just to do all the events and everything.
It sounds like you need Rebel Domain in the stage, and start packing out.
We've already got that earmarked for a few things that we're planning. Don't worry.
Awesome,
so we'd love to have something where it could just be a massive, not even a you know, we were going to reach for the skies and say Jimmy Barnes and those levels. But even if it's just an artist that's you know, quality that comes out and does a 3,000 people type thing at Rebel, you know, and that can be the start of where it can then flow on from there.
That's right.
I mean, we've got the gala night with Pink Razor Glass, and she's the only one in Australia that does the Pink tribute show.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a full thing, and again, she's knows full well what the foundation's all about, and she's like, mate, I want to support you guys. I'm coming out, and they've really looked after us from that side of things, and we've had corporate comedians, Robbie out there, they've done over the last couple of years, we've done corporate comedian nights.
That's cool.
So we want to do a couple of those next year.
Yeah.
Separate to what we do in Movember.
Yeah.
Again, it's just about.
We've got a venue, mate, if you need
I know,
something.
Bring them down here.
I
That's 20 people.
Well, if we've got to stick with the two, was it one person per 2 square metres? I think, you know.
We're up in the backyard, mate.
We'll definitely sell it out.
But we're looking at something like that, just down at, you know, something like the Spring Lake. And, you know, you've got those, you might even have half a room.
Right.
You know, and like Bathurst days and stuff like that, you know, you love to do those, and then you know, people have feeds, and it might cost them $50, but then they can have food, beverages, you know,
chat,
all that, and meet up with guys that are, you know, Ford and Holden and whatever, and it's all about watching the race and having a good time.
Well, you might make new friends too, and people that are lonely or getting down that loneliness path because they're just going to work 9 to 5, and you know, I know as you get older, you lose your mates. That's why I've gone back to footy training because you do lose.
But the amount of people that watch it and watch it at home on their own with a beer.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. I'm not a motor car person, but that's what they do. And you're like, well, mate, if you came down with a whole bunch of guys that are in, you know, follow Holden or follow Ford or whatever,
in common,
and then you've got something in common. All of a sudden, you've got 5 mates that you didn't have before because you sat at home watching.
That's right.
You know, and that's could be the difference. And then all of a sudden, they've got doing the things like you guys, where you guys go away. All of a sudden, we've got this weekend. We're going to go play golf, or we're going to go and hit some balls, or we're going to do, you know, axe throwing or lawn bowls or whatever tickles your fancy. All of a sudden, you've got a group of mates that you didn't have because you went out once.
Yep, that's right.
So we used to have a group, was it the
Piston Broke
Social Club? That was years ago.
That was a while ago.
And we used to go to just same thing. It's just a Facebook group, and we'd go. Hey, we're playing golf out at Rosewood. We're going to the Speedway. Anyone who follow, you must just
just come along.
Come along.
That's it. And that's really what we're about. That's how we started. Just two blokes. Let's just do something, and then we've grown, and it's. We've done Rugby World Cup tours together, just him and I. Yeah. They've been amazing, and we met heaps of people, through our journeys, and it's been fantastic.
That's what
it's about. Just gelled into what we're doing now.
That's a great story. So, all right, we'll follow with interest. We'll wrap
that up.
Thanks so much.
No, thank you so much,
mate.
Absolutely nice to meet you, mate.
Absolute pleasure to have you in.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the shirt too.
No, pleasure, mate.
That's another one for you. Keep on the bar.
Thank you. I'll chuck that in behind the bar here. And,
we're slowly collecting things. We've had hats and face masks was an interesting donation.
Yes.
Look at
when COVID.
In the middle of COVID. There you go.
All right, so we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks again for your support. We'll put all the information below, the links so you can check out the awesome work that these guys do.
And stay on to these guys too. Awesome, thank you.
All right, catch you next time.
See ya.
Cheers.
All right, Jace, Mark, thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks very much, mate. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, boys. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks for your time. And you got to get behind these guys, mate. What a great initiative. Just to talk and get behind them, and also make sure that you're checking on your mates. Big thing about it. Something like this is just a social environment. Get behind it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great advice. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Yeah,
and thanks for your continued support. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.